Welcome to the deep dive. If you've ever found yourself scrolling online late at night, trying to find something for that chronic back pain,
Mm.
you've seen them.
Oh, yeah. The market is just flooded with these health gadgets promising a quick fix.
Exactly. And it's no wonder something like 3 million Americans bought a back pain device this year, probably hoping to, skip a big chiropractor bill.
And that brings us to today's subject.
Right. Our mission today is to pull one of these devices, the Koravio Lumbar Lift, right off the screen and really see what's going on.
It promises a lot. A three-in-one solution, they say. Heat, vibration therapy, and the big one, lumbar traction.
And the marketing is so slick. Relief from sciatica, herniated discs,
Mm.
all in just 15 minutes a day. And they love to throw around phrases like doctor approved or clinically proven.
Which sound very official.
They do. So
Yeah.
let's look past that. With all that clinical language, how does a device like this even get onto the market?
So this is where it gets really fascinating. Lumbar traction devices usually get cleared through the FDA's 510(k) process.
Okay, 510K. That sounds impressive.
It sounds it, but here's the thing. That process does not require the company to prove the device is effective. Not at all.
Wait, what?
They just have to show that their device is, and I'm quoting here, substantially equivalent to something that's already legally on the market. It's about resemblance, not results.
So let me get this straight. The FDA gives it a green light because it looks like other devices.
Mhm.
But then, what do the people who actually pay for medical care think? Like insurers?
Well, that's the huge contradiction. Major insurers, we're talking Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, they classify these at-home lumbar traction devices as experimental or investigational.
Experimental.
Yes, and they're very clear why. They cite a complete absence of controlled studies that support the effectiveness claims, which makes you ask, why would they refuse to cover it if the science was solid?
That is a very good question.
Yeah.
So let's dissect the technologies themselves, starting with that main claim, lumbar traction.
Yeah.
The idea that it physically decompresses your spine.
Right, the central promise. And, well, the mechanism just hasn't held up. Major reviews from places like Physiopedia and Cochrane are pretty definitive.
And what do they say?
They say mechanical lumbar traction is simply not effective for treating nonspecific low back pain, whether it's acute or chronic.
So the whole idea of decompressing the spine.
It just hasn't been proven to happen in a reliable way in an intact human spine, at least not with these kinds of at-home devices.
Okay, so the biggest selling point is medically unproven. But what about the other parts? Does adding vibration therapy give it some kind of real benefit?
The evidence there is, I'd call it murky at best. It's what we call low certainty and very mixed. Meaning some systematic reviews found a few studies showing maybe some minor short-term benefits, but then a bunch of other studies showed absolutely nothing. The results are just too conflicting to draw any real conclusions.
So we have a regulatory loophole and, at best, mixed evidence for the tech. What happens when you look into the company itself?
Well, that's when the red flags really start piling up.
We started digging, and despite all those doctor-approved claims, we couldn't find a single physician endorsement. Not one. No clinical trials, no studies that even mention the Koravio device by name.
And the company? It's basically a ghost.
A ghost company selling spine relief. We found no physical address, no Better Business Bureau profile. I mean, there's no track record to speak of. That right there should be a deal breaker.
I mean, the verdict is pretty clear. You're paying $60 for what is essentially a heating pad with a vibration motor. The core claims are just completely unsupported.
You're paying for marketing, not medicine.
Exactly. So our actionable takeaway for you is pretty simple. Evidence-based treatments for chronic pain still revolve around things like physical therapy and, talking to an actual healthcare provider.
Someone who relies on peer-reviewed science.
Right. And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. This whole investigation, it just highlights a pattern we see over and over again. It's just so easy to use clinical-sounding language and the appearance of an official clearance, like that 510(k), to market a product. It can be done even when the actual clinical data is completely, totally absent. And it just makes you wonder, how often are we all paying for the marketing and not for the medicine?